The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network.
God, I'm a spiritual healer, I'm a psychic medium, and I'm a shaman. And each day on Tuesday at 10:30, we meet to talk about spiritual items, whether it's connecting to loved ones that you have lost, whether it's a healing or an energy inside of you. But we want to talk about things that some people just aren't comfortable with speaking about. So I've got several different topics that we're going to talk about throughout the next few weeks. And of course, if you have a topic that you want to talk about, feel free to put it in the drop down. We are at WBGR under Health and Wellness. Just scroll up until you see me and leave your comments there. As always, feel free to call in at 301-429-9247. So today I have a very special guest with me. I have Kelly Duncan Halford. Welcome.
Thank you.
She is the owner, proprietor, the head honcho of Lunar Bay.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about Lunar Bay, and we're going to talk about alternative healings. So, first of all, Kelly, welcome. I'm so glad you could make it here.
Yeah.
I have come to Lunar Bay several times to do readings and groups. Gorgeous space. If you guys haven't been there, you need to go. Now, is that considered Bel Air, or what is that considered?
It is Bel Air.
It is Bel Air.
Maryland.
Okay. So, tell me, how did you come up with having a healing center or a festival center? Because it says Lunar Bay Healing and Festival.
That's right.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, so the seed of the business was indeed the festival. So we started there, and that originally, I have to take it back to a deeper purpose. A friend of mine was in a bad accident, and that, I think, brought me to really focus in on providing him with an experience before transition.
Okay.
And with that, we brought him his favorite band, Mo,
Okay.
and we brought them to Harford County. Little did I know that Harford County would eat that up.
Right.
And they asked for it again.
Okay.
I was doing it, in memory of him and in honor of him.
Okay.
But the Divine had a bigger mission in line.
Okay.
So in bringing him to that festival, we hosted the festival, and we decided to turn everything we brought to the festival, which was music, alternative health, and art, into a studio. So a sticks and stones location that we could then have full-time practice and offer to people on a regular basis, not just once annual. And now we utilize that festival as a great gathering annually. We are on hiatus with it as we're waiting for an amphitheater to break ground in Harford County.
Okay.
So we're going to be patient with that,
Okay.
as it'll have everything we need to host and be efficient and provide a good experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not only is it's a festival, a gathering, you also have a brick and mortar of healers.
Mm-hmm.
So what transitioned from the festival now to the brick and mortar of healers, and how did you get your healers to find you and expand or bloom?
Yeah. So the festival was I'd have to say we jumped into the big boy pond probably initially. We maybe should have started a little smaller and grown, but
go big or go home.
Yeah, go big or go home. I love that attitude, Stacey. So we went with 48 bands, 50 plus vendors.
Wow.
And practitioners in the mind-body wellness practice with yoga or Reiki or mediumship. So we took that and we said, you know what, this needs to be full-time space. These guys are in separate locations.
Right.
They're either working out of their home, they're working in dentist, chiropractor. It's starting to get introduced and you know, respectfully intertwined with the medical practices.
Right.
Hospitals even, you're seeing Reiki now. We needed to offer one roof for all these guys to come together.
Okay.
And then cross-network, collaborate, support one another, because this is a rising, right? Like we are all coming together.
Absolutely.
Where
two or more are gathered,
yes.
God is there.
Yes.
That energy is there. Everything
power.
is there.
Mm-hmm.
So did you start off with just a Reiki healer, or just start off with a massage therapist, or, you know, you've got how many healers do you have in your location now?
I believe we're 9 private practices with a classroom.
Okay.
And an art gallery in between all of those private spaces.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's a place people can come in and just feel like they're at home in a safe space.
Yes.
And you'll hear holistic practitioners say a lot of times, I'm going to hold space for you.
Yes.
And Kelly and I were talking on the way here that sometimes we get caught up in what our vernacular is, that other people might look at us like we've got a third eye. Well, we do have a third eye. So when you talk about holding space for someone, do you want to kind of explain what that means to you?
Oh, man.
If someone needs, explain to them, or they need space held for them.
Yeah.
How's that?
Thank you for that question, because to share with you that answer it makes this time with you so valuable. So we are the hollow bone. We are conduits. The people that offer you space, whether that be in sound, mediumship, yoga, breath work, we don't do the healing. You do. We hold space for you to have time and space for yourself. And that is an epic understanding, because a lot of the times ego can intervene and say, we're doing a great job, we have enough people following, did you see that experience, that made me feel good? That's not it. This is for you. And we have experiences that we learn through in trauma, and having met other conduits on our path that offered us openings to being able to fine-tune our tools and then help others, but remove the ego from it and know that we are simply a channel of God.
Exactly. And there are so many different experiences that we all go through on our journey of life, that sometimes we push it down, and we don't it's there in our subconscious, and we don't even really know that it's there. And things like poor eating habits, or depression, or being sick all the time, you don't know what that root is until you have some type of an energy healing where it comes to surface and you can leave it out. So many times when I've done energy healings on people, sometimes they'll cry on my table, sometimes they'll start laughing hysterically, or they'll go, oh my gosh, what was that? It's that environment where you're safe to be you, to confront and walk through whatever you need to, because it's not a dirty little secret. It's something that you need to learn from and need healed from, and know that when you're with a holistic healer, or when you're with a healer, I don't necessarily need to say holistic, when you're with a healer, like, we're saving space for you to let you know that you're safe, and it's okay,
and you can do this,
and you can do whatever you need to do to walk through it.
Absolutely.
You know, I've had several different experiences, which I know you have as well. So you've got you have the yoga studio, and I know you do the goat yoga.
We do.
Which,
that one's fun to talk about.
Let's talk about it, because when I think about it, I think, oh, that sounds like fun. But then when I think about the reality, I'm going,
Are the goats in the studio?
I don't know, because they have pellets.
Yes, they do. They do indeed.
And if I'm doing yoga, like, I don't need a pellet on my back. I don't know how I would. It would probably be funny, but also like,
Yeah.
So just, I'm very intrigued with the whole goat yoga.
So miniature dwarf Nigerian goats. Stay small below your knee. They are fully domesticated, I can assure you.
Okay, so
with
that's a shoo.
lots of treats and lots of company. They are not farm goats in the least. So very friendly, and they're what I would say potty trained. Has there been pellets in the studio? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I happen to be the pooper scooper.
You're the pooper
Yeah.
scooper?
I'm the goat's mom and the pooper scooper.
Okay.
But what it is, it's an introduction of happiness therapy. And it's something that brings a distraction to your conscious mind, which is same element of meditation, self-care, taking some time to yourself. You stop thinking about the chaos and the stress, and you start focusing on, this is really silly. I'm not focusing on either my pain or what I need to do after this. I'm fully engaged with this sentient being that is providing me, in fact, joy. So the chemicals get going in your brain, your serotonin, your endorphins, all that feel-good stuff. And then all of a sudden you have this experience and memory that has impacted you to say, I've done that.
I've done that.
Though I know it sounds silly and crazy, but it is. It gets people that wouldn't have tried yoga into the classroom because they're like, I'll go for goat yoga. I don't plan on doing yoga,
like,
seriously.
Put me in a room full of puppies. I'm there.
We've done puppy yoga too.
So it's goats. And then you also do like the aerial yoga as well.
Yes.
And with aerial yoga, I mean, that's a different type of healing. My understanding is it's less stressful on the body, but you tell me, what is the difference between regular yoga versus goat yoga versus aerial yoga?
Yep. So the goat yoga takes you into the classroom, introduces you, gets that happiness going, and then all of a sudden you discover, hey, I think I'm going to actually come back to one of these classes.
There you go.
So not only is it a good experience, but it's an introduction to the studio, get you in the door. And then from there, the aerials, we utilize those both for meditation. For meditation, we hang them low so your body points are not on the floor, and you have a nice floating both body and mental experience in your sound meditation and or vocally led chanting meditation. And then the aerials utilized in the full-time yoga studio are for either traction and or core strengthening, where you do get to do some unique tricks. But I think it's important to say aerial is not all tricks high. You can perform that, but it actually is very relaxing when you lower the silks. You can put them back behind your neck, allow traction for the spine, hang your lower body into them so it rolls out the lower L5, S1 area for so many people that sit in desks all day or commute. So it's a decompression. And I have to state, yoga is not necessarily body movement or stretching. So a lot of people say, I'm not flexible. Well, then we know that we just need to get you into the classroom and experience the impact of relaxation and breath work. Because really it's a focus of breath work.
Yeah, breath. And I've stated on a past show, until I started meditating, I did not realize how shallow of a breather I was.
Yes. And how much oxygen you don't feed your whole
and you
system.
get excited about something, and I can be a fast talker, and I have to talk until my breath is, and then you don't realize that raises your heart rate, that raises your blood pressure, that makes you anxious, and you just have to like take a breath. When people would say to me, okay, breathe, I would think, you freaking breathe.
Yeah.
You know, because it was like, it offended me.
That
like, what do you mean breathe? Breathe. I am breathing. I breathe every day.
Yeah, your vibration.
But then I realized, oh my gosh, I need to breathe.
Yeah.
And meditating and breath work are just essential in health and well-being. And it's one of those things where it's something you do every day.
You have
so you don't think about it. I have to breathe.
Yeah.
I have to breathe. So
Breathe
what do you mean
deeper.
I'm not breathing right? I've been breathing since, I came out that slippery slide.
Yes. and cycle breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Don't just...
Right.
We're not cycling all of our parasympathetic system, so therefore we're not going to fully function.
Exactly. And that in itself is healing. Breathing correctly. Slowing the heart rate down.
The knowing that we don't have to move so fast and operate at such a high, impactful pace.
Exactly.
That we can indeed care for ourselves.
Exactly. We were talking on the ride here, what is it, 495, 690, whatever, one of those 95s. And people are just weaving in and out. And Kelly's like, I just don't even want to be a part of that energy, so I'm just going to kind of put along. We gave ourselves plenty of time because I'm that person. I have to be, especially if I know there's going to be traffic, I don't want to be all, tense and stressed about it. And we had a very relaxing drive, even when my GPS would be like, there's a 7-minute delay. We're like, we're still good.
Yeah.
We're still good. Yeah. But it's just realizing where that negative energy is, or realizing what's going to capture our breath and working through it. So you've got meditating, and you've got your yoga, and then you have massage therapists there as well. So as far as the massage, now what type of healing does that offer? I know it's like a physical, like deep tissue and things like that. So beyond what most people think about what massage is, what can it help internally?
Yes.
Do you understand?
So massage therapy and massage therapists, I think, would agree. It's important for you to do your own work when you come in and see a massage therapist, especially a holistic, energetically attuned massage therapist, because they're going to work through your energy fields as well as your muscle anatomy. It's important that in this day we do not just place a Band-Aid on the fact that you have a shoulder cramp. We need to actually know that the other systems in your body are miscommunicating and therefore causing a kink or a block that can be released if you know how to work with your own being and your own supernatural power. So you go to the massage therapist, and I can confirm that the one we have at Lunar Bay is highly talented. She combines Ayurveda with sound, with integrative manual therapy experience. She is certainly gaining the tools to provide a very broad healing space for you to do work that can really change your life.
Now, you mentioned Ayurveda. What is that?
So you're working through the essential oils and the herbal medicine with that.
Yeah, great.
So very holistic practice in terms of how you can repair medicinally, but naturally.
Yeah, it's one of those things that all of our senses need to be tuned in. What we're smelling, what we're feeling, what goes into our body, what we're releasing. And I've found, I have a massage once a month. That's just my day. And my massage therapist is very in tune with me, and she'll know the sense that I need and when I need it, and she'll be like, oh, what's here? And I can feel it releasing. So, we as humans on this earth, I don't want to say we as women or we as men, so we're just going to say we as humans on this earth, we've got so much stuff that we pile up in our body that the massage relaxes those muscles, and it also tunes in with all of our senses to help as well. So you have a Reiki healer as well.
Yes.
So Reiki and massage are different. How?
Well, Reiki's going to work with your energy and your auric field, and it's going to bring chakras back into alignment, whereas the massage is going to work with the anatomy and the whole body alignment.
Okay. So why is it important that your chakras are lined up?
So we are actually made up of several parasympathetic systems, and if all of those systems do not align, then they are off kilter or off vibration, as we would say in sound practice. And what we want to do is make sure that every space in your body energetically is communicating to one another, and then therefore the structure of your body, the buildup, the muscles, the bones, the nerves can then communicate properly.
Okay. So are there any other healers? I want to get to what you do then,
absolutely.
But I just want to make sure I haven't missed any of the healers. So you've got yoga, and you've got meditation, and you have massage, and you have Reiki, and you have your mediums that come in and connect with spirit, which the space is beautiful for that.
Stacey.
So if you've ever thought of having a reading done, we're actually doing a group reading tonight. I believe we're sold out, but it's a great space. The energy is great there. So have I missed any other attunements? Did you do the crystal Reiki still? Okay.
Yeah. So if I can just take a moment to kind of brag about everybody, because
Absolutely.
they really are.
Go right ahead.
They are
That's why we're here.
They're the pillars of Lunar Bay. Honestly, I could have picked a location of real estate and opened it, and none of the spaces would be full without them. So
Exactly.
it's absolutely pertinent that you guys fill the mortar, that brick and mortar with your energy.
Right.
And then you bring all of the different collaboratives and followings together.
Exactly.
So around the house, we have ETG Yoga. They have a full yoga studio. That's who does the aerial and the goat yoga.
Okay.
She also does crystal malas. Then we have...
Now, what crystal malas?
crystal malas would be the mala bracelets and the
Okay.
necklaces that you wear for energy clearing and protection and intention setting as to what you want in your life or what you're working on.
Great.
So then we have a yoga therapist, Lisa. She's a psychiatrist by day, and she's found that it's helped a lot of her clients to come into yoga therapy one-on-one in an intimate setting and learn to breathe and move the body.
Okay.
We have the chakra diva, Amber. She is our crystal Reiki master and also medium and psychic. She's lovely, has a very strong following, and what she does is touch people's lives and make sure that they have an experience that can softly introduce them into these practices so that they can find a way on their path.
Okay.
And continue to kind of flow, whether it's opening them up in Reiki, clearing things, providing them with crystals that can bring them protection. Like all of us, we all have such a wide deviation of what we do.
Right.
And then we have Cindy. She's also a psychic medium, does groups. She does pet Reiki, so she does a lot of work with the horses and dogs. They too need work. We utilize them as companions, and they may not be able to communicate, but she can go in and help with therapy. We have Sue, who is a counselor by day, retired. Now she's a life coach, considers herself a listener. This is very important. People need to be heard. People need to release their trauma vocally, emotionally.
Right.
Sometimes to just sit and not be spoken to, but to be just heard.
Right.
Then we have Katie Moran, the Getaway, and she's our massage therapist with such a wide variety of practice with the Ayurveda, Reiki Master, sound, and she incorporates all of that in her appointments.
Okay.
And then Barb Moran, integrative manual therapy, physical therapy. So definitely an energetic attunement to the physical therapy aspect of body repair. Goes much deeper and touches in things that we need to work in, mind-body connection, so that the body can heal its pain.
Right.
And then myself, I'm in a classroom with you where I share, group sessions where you travel and you come meet another community. We have a Tree of Life, Denise, who's providing a lecture to integrate the understanding of the Kabbalah. And very esoteric understanding of the spiritual tree of life.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That sounds very interesting.
And then we have a doula coming in as well,
Okay.
Megan, so she can provide
I know
support.
Megan. Yes.
Mothers before and after pregnancies, which is absolutely important. I have 3 kids, so please, women, care for yourself. You're not alone crying in the shower. You are power. You are enough, and reach out to a tribe and connect, because you're not alone. So many
and
different
it's
practices.
so important that we take care of ourselves. And you've combined several healers, several modalities together. And again, on our way here, we were talking about, someone reaches out to Kelly and it's not really her expertise. She has someone either under her roof or a connection that she can get them to. And it's just that one more step. And it's funny how certain people will come to me, and I know you've had this too, that they're like, I have something to tell you, but you're going to think I'm crazy. Like, I talk to people who are on the other side. I'm not going to think you're crazy.
Yeah.
Kelly holds space for people and has seen, felt, and heard things. She's not going to think you're crazy. It's getting out of the human mind and getting into that spiritual energy mind, because the mind is so amazing that it can heal your body if you allow it. And with the healers that are out there, like, it's becoming more and more talked about.
Available.
Yes.
It's not taboo. It's something that is, I think I'll try that.
Yes.
Or I heard somebody that had a good experience about that.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I get more clients through word of mouth.
Oh, yes.
Than through marketing and advertising. Because when you actually experience it, you know, you've got that passion and you can say to someone, oh my gosh, this is what I experienced.
And then that other person has to have it.
Right,
you know?
right.
It's true.
So we're just going to take just a short break. And we're going to come back, and then we're going to talk to Kelly about all these little gadgets that she has over here. So if you stay tuned in with us, and we're going to talk about sound healing, but we'll be right back, okay? So hang with us.
If you're a product of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, or wish that you were, then you'll want to step inside Hip Gypsy Emporium for a trip back in time. We're a kindred spirits treasure trove located in the former Duffield School in Chambersburg. We offer home, garden, and vintage, clothing and jewelry, soaps and fragrances, teas and honeys, oils and crystals, products from local vendors and artisans, and Christmas items 365 days a year. Hip Gypsy Emporium, located at 2168 Mont Alto Road in Chambersburg. If you're a product of the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Hello and welcome back to Connecting to Spirit with Stacey. We're here with Kelly Duncan Halford from the Lunar Bay. We've been talking about alternative healing. We've been talking about ways to hold space for yourself and for others, and just different things that are out there for you to be able to connect mind, body, and spirit. And it's one of those things where through the years it is getting less and less taboo. If you think about all the alternative medicines that were used hundreds of years ago, like they're coming back around. Well, why do you think that is? Because some of the chemicals in the medicines that we're prescribed are affecting or having reactions in other parts of our bodies. And we found that, you know what, when you go back to the old ways of doing things, the natural ways of doing things, like a lot of those help us.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've talked about all your practitioners that you have in Lunar Bay. So now we want to talk to you, Miss Practitioner. So what do you have here? I mean, I know what you have here, but they don't know what you have here. How does it work? How did you get into it? And talk to me.
So this is vibrational sound therapy. My particular practice is called Transcendent Sound Immersion. I started with picking up Reiki. I've done that in a multitude of attunements, Kundalini, Crystal, Asui. Some tease me. They're like, you just like being attuned.
You just want to be tuned. You need one of those little tuning forks.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got one. Yeah. So several Reiki experiences, just collecting that knowing, or as they would say, coming home.
Right.
A sense of, have I done this before, or this is familiar, I think I need to fine-tune this tool and share with others. It's very important that through that practice, I didn't just jump right in to providing space for others. I had to deepen my education for Reiki, crystals, Ayurveda, natural medicine, and you have to take time to morph. This all just doesn't come all at once. I, worked for the government, very grateful for that career. Wasn't quite my vibration. So you choose something, like they say, do something you love and you won't feel like you're at work every day.
Right.
But you also have to pay the bills. So there's this weave of career, and maybe you're not doing what you want to do, but you can intertwine that softly into what you want to do and what makes you feel good and what helps others. So making that crossover, coming from a very corporate, high impact atmosphere, I chose that I really needed to kind of come down into what I was really enjoying with bringing the studio together, and what am I to do within all of this bringing together,
right.
And which practice will I specialize in, and which tools will I bring into my tool belt so I can help others. And that started with Reiki. It went into Transcendental Meditation, which I highly recommend, in the Integrative Medicine Building on Fleet Street in Baltimore.
Okay, so talking about that, I understand what that is, but our viewers may not. So what
Okay.
is Transcendental Meditation?
Yep. Transcendental meditation, I'll try to keep it simple. There can be mindful meditation where you are aware of your thoughts coming in and out. You're accepting them, you're letting them go. You might be working with those things as a method of going through that trauma or processing. Transcendental meditation is actually when you're going to use a mantra and you're going to drop all the way into transcendence. And you want to do that, and their practice, their science in teaching is that when you drop into that transcendence is when you actually clean house. That's when the receptors in your parasympathetic systems come back. And they give many visuals and examples, but the best way I can do it is if you're vibrating like this and you drop into transcendence of meditation and make it past those thoughts, which it's difficult to do. So
Absolutely.
meditate mindfully first. And then as you do that, you'll find tools in sound or in hertz music or in, some people run, some people sew, some people cook. It
Yes.
comes in all forms. So when you drop into that transcendence, even in I'm painting, you can be in transcendence within your artwork or within your cooking, and that's why it feels good for you. So when you drop into that, you're doing the work. You're cleaning up the trauma. Things are coming up, and you're like, why did I just think of that? And then it goes, and it's because you cleaned house. It's processing. It may need to come up a couple times. But that's why we're taught in this practice to really go through. So we need to come to the fire, even though that's really tough, and we've been taught to hold and conceal, and vulnerability is not strength, but indeed it is.
It is.
So you work vulnerably through going through those traumas in whatever you choose: Reiki, meditation, massage, time for yourself, a sport, a cooking, a hobby. And through that, you find a way.
Right.
And through my Reiki and massage and the transcendental meditation, I found vibration to be something that came back to me. So it was maybe something I had in a past life. Maybe it's just what divine wants to send through me as channel.
Through that, yes.
So I'm going to accept that. I'm going to do my own healing. I'm going to do my own work and hold my own space, because I am not without trauma. I am not without negative experiences. So I utilize those. I go through them, I process, and then I share with others the tools that I have found, which for me came through as sound.
Right.
And that sound is attuned with Reiki. And you can see here, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but we utilize crystals for energy and intention setting within that experience. And sometimes we, if divine calls for it, we'll do a card reading within the meditation as well. They can be on the floor meditation, a chair, in an aerial swing. These can be done at home. They can be done around a bonfire. I've done them in corporate settings. I do them in the detention center now. I volunteer 1 day a month for the substance abuse sector of the detention center that will be getting out and re-released into the community. So trying to filter them back in with the knowing that there's a tool that they can go to, maybe outside of what they utilized previously. They may have never had these conversations, and a lot of you have not.
Right.
A lot of you have not been told self-care is priority. There are tools to get better before the surgery or the medication. All due respect to medication and medicine. I always state that as a side note, because if there's an emergency and I need a surgery, you better believe I'm very grateful for that surgeon that has that medical experience. Now we're integrating the other side, and we're doing it gently. It's taking a lot of time to get the medical and the alternative care worlds to cross over, but it's happening. The clinical studies are happening. Sound, for sure, has been tested through crystallization of water. I mean, it works for animals, it works for, for us, and it works as a respect for those that have already transitioned. It works as a celebration for those that are here. So there's such a variety of what these tools can provide to you.
Right. Well, and it's just that taking that time for yourself to reconnect to you. We've been taught or trained, or for some reason we've been programmed that when we take time for ourselves, then we're being selfish. Right? it's there. You can be selfish,
Sure.
you know, but it's not. It's like when you use your cell phone, and I'm going to talk cell phone because everybody knows what a cell phone is. When those bars go down and you're almost out of energy, what do you have to do? You have to plug it back in to build the energy back up. We are the exact same way, being in touch with our energy and saying, I think today I need a break.
Yeah.
My energy level just doesn't feel right. And you just take that, you take that power, because the mind can heal the body if the mind listens to the body, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you started, and I'm a music person. So, I mean, if there's a floor, it's a dance floor for me. All my friends are probably so tired of hearing that. But I get so involved in music. I could be out dancing. My eyes are closed because the music is flowing through me. I can feel it. It grounds me. It just makes me whole. And I'll tell you, when I sat in on one of your sessions, I was relaxed. Probably if I did it a second time, I was more nosy to see, like, what's she doing now? I should have watched first because my curiosity was like, oh, what's that?
Conscious brain curiosity.
Yes.
One eye
yes.
open.
And I totally enjoyed it and was very enamored by it. And even at one point towards the end, I felt myself chanting to it and tuning in with that. And I'm like, oh, this is new for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I do different chants and different mantras, but I was like, felt like maybe I wasn't on the same tone as you were. And thank God it was loud, because somebody else would probably have been like, shut up. But I felt it like going the whole way through me with my vibration as well.
Yes.
So talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you went from Reiki and massage, and sound became abundant for you?
Yeah. So I would say getting into the savasanas of yoga. Okay, so that's a quiet space where you lay at the end of the class. That gave me an opportunity to bring in an instrument and have an experience with a group that said, this is a beautiful bowl, but it was a deeper understanding that how it would affect the people in the class.
Okay.
So we started with something
group.
very simple.
Right.
Yes, and it was like, all right, this is interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm curious. I'm very attracted to this practice. Okay. But I know nothing, so I must fill myself up.
Right.
And I always say, as soon as we think we know nothing.
Absolutely.
So stay humble and keep learning. In that discovery, it was exciting. It was exciting that you could reach people and they could have an emotional experience or a reaching of that quiet space where they're like, I can't quiet my mind. And you're like, I'm so grateful that I could help facilitate that for you. And again, it's important that you separate the ego here, because this is a very important step as an alternative care provider, conduit, hollow bone.
Right.
You are providing space for them to do their own work. So don't let those feelings of, look what I've done for this person, come in and...
It's not you. There's a medium.
It's an honor.
There's a medium that I follow, John Holland, and he explained it so well to me, and it clicked with me. He's like, it's not me. It's coming from spirit, through spirit, to spirit. So from them to me to you, I'm just that elbow.
That's right.
That's just there, and it can be humbling, and then you think, oh my gosh, did I really do that? Wait a minute, I didn't do that. You did that. But you did that through me. But did I really do? Did I really? And there are times when I'm doing a group reading or I do a reading for someone, and something comes out, and in my head I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I just got, like, I understood what you said to me. Cool, good job.
Yeah.
You know, I love when they do that. And with sound, I'm sure it's the same thing when someone comes to you and they say, I just can't quiet my mind. And you think to yourself, hang on, you're going to quiet your mind.
Yeah. They're going to quiet your mind.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's an awesome opportunity to just be a part of the movement and what I call the rising of people becoming aware of other elements of support that they can utilize to feel better.
Right.
To enjoy this life, that we indeed have chosen.
Right.
We chose it.
Right.
Good or bad, all the stuff that's happened. We came here, we have a purpose. So if we can remember, if we can find the tools that help bring us clarity and get us in alignment, then we can live happily and teach others how to do so as well. So the tools have been an epic experience. What I have here, crystal bowls made from the earth. Mother Nature, Mother Earth gave them to us to make beautiful resonance into the body and the mind. It's important to understand that the human body is completely molecular. This is ancient. This is just coming back to us. We're relearning it. But this is science. This is physics. It is something that, not done correctly, can certainly hurt you, like any practice in energy.
Right.
But done with respect and gentle grace, it can really bring you to a space where it changes your life.
Yeah.
And this can be good. It can be hard, but step into it.
Step into it.
Yeah,
Yes.
step into
Yes.
it. I have an ocean drum here. This makes the sound of rain or the ocean. We utilize that to pretty much walk people home. I utilize the chimes to settle people down. These are koshi chimes, a very ambient, soft, angelic-like tone with a little crystal bead inside of it, or a glass bead. And 1111.
I caught it as well.
We're going to call it every time.
Yes.
So, koshi chimes to walk you in. Some people do that vocally or through chanting. I like to try and let people utilize their own mind-body connection to tune into the vibration of the instruments. Let the blockages or clearing that needs to happen in your body to just softly drop in.
Right.
And then you go to a place of quiet. You may touch back in consciously. That's okay. But drop into that transcendence experience and do a little bit of cleaning house, maybe even a little bit of sleeping.
Right.
And that's okay. That indeed is work as well.
Right.
And then gently walk out of that experience with the sound of rain, the sound of ocean. These bowls and the gong provide a very, if you will, like a warm surrounding experience. The ocean and the waves bring you back into kind of a rattle, like, okay, I think I'm walking back. I think I'm coming to again, but peacefully, softly. And then you kind of get a bell to wake back up.
Right.
And this is an hour experience. Again, float, sit, be on the ground. But it's a place where you can set your intentions, clear your mind, have rest, and with or without fully understanding it, it's going to work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, when you set your intentions and I've had people come to me with energy healing and they'll say to me, I have tried everything. This couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
And I thought, well,
you get to your last thread and you're like, let's try that weird stuff. And you're like,
that's an intention. This can't hurt. So we already know I'm not going to hurt you.
You opened it up a little.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong. In conversation one time, did you tell me that you were going to be working, or you had goals of working with children or people with autism, that this helps to calm and settle them? Or I can't remember.
I'm hoping so. I've been called to it a couple times.
Okay.
Just an introduction. I'll tell a sweet story. Young man in a grocery store, typically parents with autistic children, maybe they're sensitive to touch or introduction or crowd. This young boy had a little vibration toy that comforted him. And I was with my children, and I was high vibe because I was having a good time with them. Not always high vibe with my children. Anyway.
You remember the good ones.
Yeah. This one I was I remember because I was like, oh, I was in a good, we were good,
we were in a good
teasing, we were
space.
joking, yeah.
Vibration was high.
That's right. He literally slid his body all the way over to me and butted himself right up next to me, vibration toy on one side, me on the other. And his dad literally stood back and was like, I'm sorry, a little bit taken back. I'm like, we're totally good here. Yeah. And I don't know whether to put my arm around him or not. I was like, I'm going to go for it. Spirit's going. I'm going. And so I bent down, and man, he let me right in his space. And that just shows you there's something to attunement and vibration and energy that this young man understood. And so I felt that was a connection to divine. I'm like, okay, I got your God wink. I'm going to take that. I'm going to note that.
Yeah.
And we'll take that step when you give me another lily pad. And so, yeah, if that's something we can get into, you need to be gentle with it. I don't know how they'll accept it, but these ocean drums, these feel-good vibrations, I think there's something to it
it's
for that community.
something to it. And I remember the conversation, and it might have been that you had told me about that story, that it just like intrigued me. That
there was no denying it. I was like, oh my God. And even his dad walked out like, thanks for just
letting him do
his thing.
There are so many, and I don't want to just say people or anyone who has autism,
depression,
but
anxiety, PTSD,
oh my gosh,
abuse, trauma in your past life. There are so many things that people need to work on. And you can come to a space where you can process it.
When you can do that. And it is such a fallacy. I read this long article the other day about someone was saying that alternative practitioners teach you to mask what is going on,
like a false positivity.
Because you're being too positive.
Exist.
You're too positive. What I work through, what the people that I surround myself with, I don't want to just say the people I surround myself, we're not saying to you, oh, everything is sunshines and lollipops and unicorns.
Good vibe.
There are bad vibrations that are out there. There are traumas that have happened.
That's where
but
we
there
have to
are
go.
ways that you can have assistance walking through them so that they're not attached to you for the rest of your life. A past trauma that I had years ago was still haunting me forever. And I had to go into a deep meditation, basically, and release this person and forgive them, but also release and forgive myself. And I did an exercise called transference, where I wrote a nasty letter to this person. And got it all out. I laughed, I cried, and then I went out. We have a fire pit outside. I said a prayer to God, to the universe, and I burn it. And it was such a release. Did it all disappear that day? Absolutely not. Because things would come up and I would say, oh, it was in that letter. It's burnt. It's not me anymore. It's God's. I release you. I forget, because I would have to keep going back. I needed to walk through it. I had been masking it for 35 years.
So how many times do we have to kind of come through it?
So you have to come through it. And with alternative medicine, alternative healers, there's that safe space where you can do that. I would have never talked about
judgment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Years ago I would have never even talked about the situation, and now I talk about it all the time. And I even know that when I did the sound healing with you, this person's face came to mind, but they floated away.
Deep transcendence.
So I knew that it was still here somewhere.
It's okay.
But I was able to, instead of getting stressed, like, why are they here? I was able to see them and say, and breathe it, and knew that I was released from the guilt, the shame, the whatever that was in there. And that was through sound,
Great.
And you learn it. I'm amazed at the different things that come up for me, and I don't want to say still, but still. And I know it's going to be a lifetime of lessons that I'll go, oh my gosh, I don't remember. That happened when I was 5.
Yeah.
And it's still coming up. Oh, what?
Right.
Okay, I guess I pushed that down, because you get this visual through, whether it's through sound healing, whether it's through massage, whether it's through Reiki, whether it's through connecting to spirit, your angels. It's still stuck in your backpack.
Yeah. I think it's important to note that you touched on it. It's not all or nothing. This isn't something you come into a sound immersion or an experience with Stacey and you're like, there it is. It's all gone. It's released. I am healed.
Woo! Yeah.
No. This is a coming to the fire.
Yeah.
This is, you got to do work. This isn't glamorous necessarily. This isn't headstands on the most beautiful cliff in Fiji. This is coming to the fire and finding tools to get through what you need to work through, to have more clarity, to have peace of mind, to have less illness in your body. You have dis-ease in mind, in energy. You will have dis-ease, sickness.
Right.
that will appear, and you will have stress, and you will have synchronicities that come in negative form instead of positive form, because you are in fact calling it to yourself. People don't like to hear that. I am responsible for my own trauma,
yes,
but
and
this person did this to me.
exactly.
So that's where you got to do your own work.
Right.
Come to the fire. Get deep into yourself. Why did that happen to me? Do I still need to hold it? What did I learn from that? How can I evolve? When you start to open up like that and be open to an acceptance of healing through divine, and through facilitators that will hold space for you, it happens quicker. It's like it reaches hyperspeed. You're like, oh wow, synchronicity, God wink, person in my path. That's next. I'm going there,
right?
And it's just like, all right, let's do this. I'm not without trauma. I am not without stress, right? We all.
But I'm
get
not owning it and holding on to it anymore. I'm working through releasing it.
Oh, where'd that come from? Is it all the way back there?
Right.
Is it childhood? Is it that relationship? Is it okay? Check it, process, stand by the fire, step back, keep going, flow back into life. You hold all those things and you don't, you're going to get sick. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to continue to go forth with your PTSD. And thank you. It's really important that our time, this day and age, we're taught to Band-Aid it. We're taught quick and hard. We are taught more things, acquire. Okay, this takes time. How long have you been doing this? How long has it taken me to acquire the education to share with others? First doing my own healing and then coming into it. Years. And how many people have I met on my path? How many traumas have I processed? Like, oh, that reminded me of that. Or, oh, God, I got to come back to that. Like, come on now. And you got, it's not quick. It is a process.
But it's worth that, because you are so worth it. You know, I've talked to people that are just, well, I guess I'm just going to have to live with this for the rest of my life. Okay, you're owning it. No, you don't. Right. I'm not saying that you do the sound emergence and you're going to walk out there and your arthritis is going to be cured. It's not that. But you're going to find releases and things that are in your mind, because the mind can heal the body. Like, I'm so steadfast on that. And what you say, if you say, oh, I suffer from PTSD, and I'm not putting PTSD, I know it's a real thing, I suffered from it for a very long time, but if you own it,
then it stays,
and you don't work through it, then it will stay with you.
But have we been taught at a young age how to walk through it?
Exactly.
You don't have to carry it. It's not your responsibility for you to keep the abuse that person put you through. Now there's a mechanism for you to understand it, which is hard and it hurts, but let's go through it and let it go. And let's live a better life, So take your time coming to the fire, but know that there's a fire to come to, and when you start processing it, things get better.
It truly does. It truly does. So we've got the different sounds. You were talking about the ocean waves.
Yes.
So that's what walks you through it.
Yep. So we drop in with chimes. We go to bowls, which is a nice warm surrounding vibration. We go to the gong. The gong can be very underwater-like. It can be very spacey, which really helps people get distracted in the sound. Okay. And all of a sudden, like you said, you're opening your eye.
Yeah, I was like, what's she doing?
What's she doing?
Yeah. And then I would get myself back and something new would come up.
Breathe back into it. Now we're joining back in it. Yeah.
Because I was so curious about, what is that sound? Because I saw the tools that you brought down. We had a sound healing at Hip Gypsy Emporium in Chambersburg. I don't know, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, whatever. And I sat in on it. And when I saw the tools that you brought down, it wasn't that many. It was maybe 4 bowls, and a gong. And I would hear something. I would think, what instrument was that? Okay, stop. Just enjoy. And then I would be...
Conscious brain really needs to know, though.
Right, yeah. And I would even, I would get up and, and I sat up for a little while and I'm like rolling my head around and I'm like, okay, I'm cheating because I'm looking. But I'm still engulfed in the music.
That's right.
So, and I noticed when you were doing that, you seemed to be in a trance or a meditation yourself. So... talk about, when I do energy healings on people, I have to connect with their spirit, so I'm meditating as I'm touching them. So you are in a meditation as well, connecting with the music, the energies, the people, all of the above?
So we tune into Reiki first. We go through the space. Okay, we're going to pick up on people's energies. We're going to help ground them. That's really important when they come in and before they go, regrounding, because you're going to reach a very euphoric space, dreamlike, prayer-like. So it's important to come back to that conscious, light, fast-paced experience. So basically, we're going to bring Reiki over the room. And I always call myself the spaceship driver.
Okay, right, that's cool.
I have to be coherent enough to know what I'm doing and how I'm transitioning through the instruments so that they overlap properly, so that you're not tapping or making a noise that might bring someone a shock out of meditation. You don't. It's like scuba diving. You don't want to come up too quickly.
Too fast. Yes.
So I have to remain not fully conscious, but kind of with my eyes softly open so I can see people's body movements and coughing, sneezing, moving. All of those transitions mean that there's energy moving and that they are indeed dropping into a transcendence and processing.
Right.
So we may apply a little different Reiki for those people that are maneuvering or bringing up intention. And we have a nice, solid, quiet space where people don't experience that very often. And we just sit.
We just sit and relax.
And then we walk them home. And we let them know that you can come out of that gently and you can come back at any time. And with Reiki infused fully and the vibration doing its natural ancient work and regrounding them and sending them on their way. And again, it's not all or nothing. It doesn't, not immediate fix, but it's a start to opening up the lotus to do work within oneself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we only have a few more minutes here. Kelly is going to go, we're going to go out of the show. I don't want to say playing the music. What is the proper word?
We'll do a very short little sound immersion.
A sound immersion. Is there anything else that you want to add before we do that?
Just so grateful for all of you and Divine bringing us together.
Thank you so much.
We were talking about the connection and how this happened, and we have another person that came to the studio that I worked with that brought us together.
Yes.
She does groups at the studio. Now here we are doing this together.
This as well. Yes.
Synchronicity, God winks.
Yep.
They are there if you listen.
To be open to that. So I want to thank you so much for coming. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to Connecting to Spirit with Stacey. Of course, I'm here every Tuesday at 10:30 on the health and wellness. So if you have an idea for a topic, please put it in the drop down. But I pray that you all are living the life you love and loving the life you live. If not, you're the only one that can change it. And Kelly, I'm going to let you do some sound immersion here for the next 3 minutes.
Okay.
So all of you just kind of close your eyes or enjoy it.
Yeah, if you are driving, please just stay coherent. Put it in the cup holder. Don't close your eyes. Do take some deep breaths, but just stay focused. Those of you that are at home or in a more intimate space, find yourself comfortably seated and start with a few deep breaths. Some intention setting. What are we working on? How do we want to feel? And we'll start in here with the chimes, just to kind of check in with the sound. And I'll keep playing as you guys kind of fade out and go into your day. It is important that when this video shuts off, your intentions go to grounding with your breath.